Hello and welcome to episode 52 of Rival Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Luke Croft. Joining me, as always, the Corey to my Sean, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Martin.
What did you say?
The Corey to my Sean. I've been watching Boy Meets World.
I never watched that.
Oh, I thought you froze for a second.
No, dead air. No, I know Corey and Topanga. I wasn't aware that there was a Corey and Sean.
That's actually wild to me.
I think I've had this conversation with people. Welcome to the Marvel Rivals podcast, everyone.
It's a light episode. Let's banter a little.
A Marvel Rivals podcast. Rather.
Yes.
So I've had this conversation because people ask me all the time about Disney original movies and like Hannah Montana and stuff like that. I say all the time because again I teach ninth graders, whatever, and they ask me and I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And the reason why, and this is why I'm a little fucked in the head, I think, is that I was raised watching Seinfeld and
yeah,
just stuff that was way over my head and kind of nihilistic a little bit, and it just really great. But I did miss out. I was not watching the same things that my peers were watching at the same time. And while that's cool, I'm not part of the zeitgeist, I guess.
If you guys want a little bit of insight into Seth, in his childhood bedroom was a giant poster of. It wasn't actually of Kramer; it was of the actor that played him, right? Or was it Kramer?
No, it's Kramer. So in the show, there's an episode where one of Jerry's girlfriends paints a painting of Kramer, the character. And so you could it was pretty popular for a long time, and you probably still find him. But it's a poster of that painting. So yeah, I had that actually right over this desk over here. I've got this.
Oh, the little cast picture there. I was playing MLB The Show today, and I faced off against a pitcher in the minor leagues named Jason Alexander.
Really?
Made me think of you.
Really? I'll have to hang that back up later, whatever.
Yeah, I was getting TikToks of just almost half episodes of Boy Meets World, and I found myself just watching them anytime they would come up on my phone. And so I was like, you know what? I've got a Disney Plus subscription, and the whole series is on there. It's always funny going back. You might not know this feeling. Did you guys watch Seinfeld as it debuted?
My parents did. I was kind of watching it on the background, and I was familiar enough with it. And then I kind of caught up on it a lot. I was I think 11 years old when the show ended, so I was very much aware of it. I kind of watched it more in syndication though, when it was on reruns on TBS.
Yeah.
And then my high school career as a gamer, I was playing Halo 3 on my slightly bigger, the big ass glass screen TVs that we used to have, the CRT TVs. So I had a big one. When I say big, it was 40 and some inches. Is probably that's about as big as most normal people had them. And unless it was the big living room TV. And then I had a tiny little TV where I would have my DVD player hooked up, and I would be grinding Halo 3, and then just watching Seinfeld just on nonstop going in the background.
Yeah, I think when Boy Meets World debuted, it was 95 or 96, right? And so I would see some episodes on TGIF over the years, and I would mostly see shows episodes in syndication. So I never really saw the show in order. And in fact, I think it took me a long time into my youth until I was conscious of the fact that sitcoms are telling linear stories,
Really?
Because they just all kind of because they all I grew up on Full House and Family Matters, and everything was kind of all the stories are kind of self-contained, right? You don't really have to keep up with the overarching narratives. But
yeah, there probably is one, but it's not super important.
Yeah. And so it's been funny going back and rewatching this show for the first time as an adult, and seeing how the story progresses overall, and just picking up on that. Also, just the classic watching something as an adult when you're watching something as an adult when you'd only seen it as a kid, picking up on all the little like adult humor that was in it. So there's this scene where Corey's sitting at his dining room table and he's looking at this magazine of women, and it was like a fashion magazine or something. And his mom comes downstairs and is like, Corey, these girls are starved. Why are you gawking over them? Where did you even find these pictures? And he goes, on your bedside table. And she goes, you didn't look in the drawer, did you? And I was like, I would not. I certainly did not pick up on that when I was a kid.
Probably for the best, yeah.
Yeah. You have older parents too, so you grew up on those kind of more mature shows as well. I still haven't seen all of Seinfeld.
Oh God, you gotta. Yeah, you can honestly skip like the first like 2 seasons. They're super, and I don't mean that like people mean it today, but like they're like 6 episodes. There's not like much of a like kind of running plot. They don't have like they were still kind of finding their style, but when you get to like season 3, that's where you start to get like most of like the classic like the Seinfeld episodes, or from kind of like 3 to 9. But they're great. They were great ones in 1 and 2 too. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get around to it, but Womp and Water says, "Whoa, or woo, new Rival Banter. This is Rival Banter. We get together every week and talk about all things Marvel Rivals and push it out to you guys on podcast services everywhere. We actually record this live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays over on twitch.tv/itishoagie. You can follow us over there if you want to catch us live and react to what we're talking about in the chat. And you can also follow us on social media. Just search for Rival Banter on Instagram and TikTok. And then make sure wherever you're listening to us, you are following, commenting, liking, all of those sorts of things. So, and also join our Discord, link in bio. Seth, how's your week been going, my friend?
It's been going pretty good. You know, we're coming up on spring break. We have a short 4-day week this week at our school.
Kids are losing their fucking mind. It's a full moon, so I've heard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know about the moon. I haven't looked up in a long time. I stopped looking up years ago. Who knows what's up there? Yeah, they're they're all over the place. But I kind of set myself up for success. Like I had my, I didn't mean to, but like my annual physical was today, so like I had a little half day sick day action. So I got to go into the office, or a little late. Before that, got some coffee, went around, like just kind of killed some time. It's nice to just like go do nothing with no goal, just like rambling around. It's rare that I get to do that in my life at this juncture, just to ramble. And then tomorrow I'm going with my school's theater department to Radford University to do like a little tour. Our theater teacher went to Radford, so he's kind of like, giving them the spiel, and then we're going to watch their college production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, very nice.
It's a day, day out of the classroom, and then we got 1 day. I'm giving a test or a quiz, and then pow,
boom, spring break. You going anywhere?
Yeah, we're going to the beach.
Nice, very nice. You gonna be here next week, or do I need to get Larry on this show?
You should probably get Larry.
All right, we'll get Larry.
I don't know. Get surprise. And we don't have like the long story, but the people sold the place that we usually get for free, so we're going to like a hotel this time, and I'm pretty sure the Wi-Fi is going to be god awful. So, yeah, I wouldn't bank on it.
Yeah, next week's my wife's spring break as well, but I took a couple days off for it, which will be nice. We'll explore around Asheville now that it's the weather's getting nicer up here, dude. I've been dying. My car's absolutely yellow from all the pollen, and I've just been waking up feeling like I have the flu every single day, only to feel better by 11. So that time of year. Any news on the esports front? You guys had a game since last week's episode?
No, we won. I think I mentioned like the really tense game that we had before. This week is our last week of like our regular season. The crappy thing is that we have playoffs. So like the non VHSL Virginia High School League, like like the high school athletics organization, Those games for us, like we only have 2 of those that we compete in. It's right now Mario Kart and Smash Ultimate. So they've for some reason split off, like the VHSL level games are the week after spring break. That's when their playoffs start. But like Rivals and Fortnite and some of the other games that we have that are more like club teams for now, they are next week, which everybody's on spring break. So I'm going to be like coaching from Myrtle Beach. Like if I can manage to get into a Discord call or something like that, it's doubtful. I mean, the kids are just kind of have to get together and organize themselves. Sure, it'll be fine. We're like struggling. Some of the kids are going to be at the beach, so like honestly, we'll see how it goes. We've had a great season though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to find they just got to find an internet cafe or something to play at. I don't know if beaches have those, but
I think
everyone always trying to escape to inside when they're at the beach.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, some people do that. Like it rains there, so why not? I think people should start like it's probably already a thing, maybe somewhere. It's really just an internet cafe or like I don't know, like one of those places you can go in a mall and like play. They used to have these like where you go and like pay a certain amount of money for a certain amount of time like to play on a PlayStation or whatever. I think there should be like esports gyms, like you can go.
I actually have a buddy of mine who he was the coach of 2K of our 2K team when I was at the Warriors. Name's Mike, awesome dude. Left from coaching and started something very similar to that. It's like an esports training lab, I think is what he calls it, or something like that, in Cleveland, Ohio. And it's like a big thing. And
wow.
I think we do need more stuff like that in the world, like to legitimize the pursuit of esports, or to even, like in your situation, give kids in certain areas access, because I'm sure like a lot of those kids don't have gaming PCs or nice machines or anything like that. So
that kind of thing. It would be helpful for me to have more like formal training and coaching, that kind of thing. I think we got kind of I feel like I'm like Michael Scott in The Office sometimes. Like I'm just kind of somehow I manage. We should probably start the show now.
Yeah, we should. Let's talk about some some viewer comments here. Anderson Prudencio over on Spotify said, "White Fox is so much fun. I love her play style because it fits my play style perfectly. And great podcast. Keep up the good work." You did get a chance now to try out some White Fox, Seth. What do you think?
She's not for me, but I understand the appeal. She actually was like pretty instrumental in helping us win when one of our students was playing our match last week in Marvel Rivals. So like I get it. It's kind of the Gambit situation for me. It took me like a season to really just kind of like start to understand Gambit, and like I still get in there and forget to cleanse and stuff like that, or like I'm not like prepared when the moment comes to cleanse. I think I need some time to I don't take well to change anyway. Just as a human, it takes me a little while to adapt and kind of get used to things. So I definitely get this, and thank you so much, Anderson, for the nice touch at the end. Keep up the good work. It's nice to know that we're doing things somewhat well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I got to play a lot more of White Fox this week, and I don't think I'm as effective on White Fox as I am on like Cloak and Dagger or Gambit or any of those characters, but I do feel like some stuff was starting to click this week, especially how to use her melee form to get in and out of fights, to pull people back into your team for fights, to get like players out of an Invisible Woman ult. Like there's a lot of utility to her, but I do think that she leaves a lot for the other healers on your team to have to do, for your other strategists to do. They kind of have to pick you up. I've also noticed that I don't think people realize the AoE healing that she does when she is in melee form, because if I spend too much time in melee form, I start getting flamed in chat. Like, "Hey, White Fox, why don't you focus on healing us?" It's like, I'm healing y'all while we're damaging people. Like that's how this character works. So I'm having a lot more fun with her. I think I'm gonna give her a break from ranked for a little bit till I feel like I'm kind of giving the same output as I am with like a Cloak and Dagger or Invis or something. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I do think she is like a very specific play style, though. You have to kind of know when to get aggressive and use her melee form. Her dash is on like a really long cooldown, so knowing how to land that mobility to get the resets, I think, is really important too.
Yeah, that's the stuff I have not begun to figure out yet.
Saw her a little bit in pro play, which I'm sure we'll talk about here when we talk about Ignite later on in the show. Then Lover,
I don't feel like we saw her a lot, but yeah,
not a lot. I think definitely more in Europe than we did in North America.
Yeah, very situational for sure.
Lover94 over on TikTok says, I was Diamond 1 last season. Ever since then, I've lost back to back until I've reached Gold 1. I don't know why it won't put me on the winning team. I have not had this desperate of a slide. That sounds crazy to me. And I don't know if I'd ever play this game again if something tragic like that happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. Like we've had a pretty rough. We talked about it last week. I think we've had a pretty rough go. We haven't played a ton of comp this week. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a minute, but we did finally get some wins in. Like it felt pretty good. I did finish my placements, and but we'll get there. We'll get there here soon. But I definitely do feel you, Lover.
Yeah. I think we've all been on a tragic loss streak and felt what I felt last week, that pit of despair, like you've been abandoned by all that is divine. But here I stand, redeemed and ready for Easter. Nick Tacto over on our Discord said, another great episode. I've enjoyed watching them live and then going back through the recording. Double dipping on the viewership there. Love that. I think your idea, Hoagie, of an app to follow along with MRC and MRI would be a huge addition to getting new people to watch. As someone who's new to watching the pro scene, my biggest struggle is simply knowing who's playing and when. With Rivals adding a dedicated menu with team and player information to the game, the final touch would be bringing an app to send notifications and allow for easier tracking. I'm on my knees, Guangguang, begging for an app for MRI. Because, I mean, the schedule's pretty consistent, right? North America starts at 5 my time. I think Europe starts at like 10 my time. But knowing when my team's playing, especially when it's not consistent that your team's going to play every single day. I think almost every team only played twice in the 3 days this week. So yeah, I think an app would just solve all my problems here. What do you think, Seth?
Yeah, I mean, I would love this. It's like as a fledgling sports fan, just in general, like that's kind of been my main way of keeping track of things, even if it's just like following one team. So like I went to my first hockey game ever. I think I told you the other day. I went to a Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs game, which is kind of like just like a local, I think, the franchise. They're not like affiliated with any.
I don't think they're like official minor league now, but it is, I think it is like a semi-pro league. Yeah,
that kind of thing. So like, I kind of equated them maybe like a little higher than like our Mustangs in baseball, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Semi-professional. Well, I guess it is professional for sure. It was a lot of fun. And like now I went home and downloaded like the NHL app, and so I could kind of like follow along, kind of start to learn a little bit more of the ins and outs of the game and kind of keep up with schedules. It's hard to keep up when you're watching more than one sport. And so, yeah, I think that this would be just fantastic to be able to have that capability. I feel like it's maybe too late to drop something like that soon for this season, but I don't know. Maybe like if a split comes here in a little while, maybe when things kind of start to pick back up, we can get the drop. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I think the hard part's out of the way for him, right? Like because the big part about keeping a sports app updated is just having all of the data in a place that can be referenced by your program. And since all of this stuff exists in game already, it's already structured to build an app. They would just have to, obviously. And I don't even need anything super crazy. Like, it'd be nice to be able to like do my predictions in the app and stuff like that, or sign in, to my Rivals account in order to unlock rewards or something. But as long as I've got the schedule and can get notifications about my team, I think that would be an excellent start. Because yeah, I'm the same way with when it comes to keeping up with sports. I used to be just an ESPN guy with the ESPN app and would just go to that for all of it. But now I've got like all of the individual league apps just for being able to watch highlights and keep up with the standings and stuff like that. I was very upset this week, Seth, because my homepage got shut down. For years, my homepage has been a website called juked.gg, and it was sort of initially it was launched as like an ESPN.com of esports, and so it would have like League, Valorant, Dota, and a couple other esports, and all the international schedules for the day. You could follow teams. It was really awesome. Then they tried to like launch into an esports social platform, like an esports specific Twitter, which was really odd. But they've maintained the like website, and this week they finally shut the website down after having the app shut down for a couple years now. And I was very sad to log on and see it. But yeah, I think that's one of the big barriers in esports is just accessing the information, accessing the broadcasts, and knowing how to keep up with such a broad international scene. And it's a little overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, you kind of have to be like a sicko, like not in a negative way, but like just kind of like hardcore. You've got to be into it and you've got to do a lot of legwork. And so I think if we could trim that down, whether that falls, sorry, the pollen, whether that falls, like, I don't know how exactly it could be done, whether like, do you do that like as a league, like Marvel Rivals Ignite? I think it would work really well for something like that. I feel like maybe the teams themselves could also, like, if I wanted to follow Space Station, for example, maybe having like a Space Station app could help kind of like, and like that way I could follow them across multiple games or something like that. Either way, give me something, because it would make my life a whole lot easier, and it would make me watch you a whole lot more, because it's just like the act of doing so is that much easier to do.
For sure. All right, Seth. Well, let's move on. And for the first time in a few weeks, we're going to rank some unhinged usernames. So if you have the show notes open, I'm going to be copying and pasting them under that section there.
Okay.
And for the uninitiated out here, Seth is going to see 5 random usernames that have been submitted in our Discord server. And he will have to blind rank them 1 to 5, 1 being the most unhinged, 5 being the least. And Seth, do you understand the rules? Do you agree to my terms? And are you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
All right, first one, we've got Breeding Bull. Rocket Raccoon player here.
It didn't hit me great at first. Why do they have an inye in breeding, like the Spanish, like the letter N with the squiggly mark or whatever? Breeding.
Breeding. Oh, hold on one second, Seth. You dropped out of the scene for some reason. Now you're back. Can you hear me? All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna give breeding. I mean, I think he's still rated Breeding Bull. I'm gonna. I appreciate this. So wait, 1 is
most unhinged, 5 is least. So 1 to the best, 5 to the worst.
I'm gonna start wild and go 2 with this one. I really just like, it's solid. It's got a really strong foundation in like modern pornography. I feel like the idea of bulls and whatever. So pretty wild, weird, wild stuff. Really great.
Really great. All right, your next one, Seth. I suck toes yum. The yum really sends this one over the top for me.
Yeah, I didn't get me until there's so much here. It's a run-on sentence, like I suck toes yum. There's no punctuation, no nothing in there.
It's also not misspelled at all.
No,
didn't have to do any tricks to get that one by the filter, because Guangguang saw it and was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Me too.
Hell yeah, brother. Me too. Me too, my guy.
Here's 100,000 chrono tokens.
I'm gonna give this a 3. I think. I mean, it's good. I do appreciate you breeding bull more. I think it's a little more classy for me.
All right, so we have 1, 4, and 5 left here, Seth. I call this next one the Trinity. Oh shit, it's real small. But we've got Balls McGee, So Fucking Butt, and Harry Johnson.
Balls McGee is pretty good. When he says sofa king butt, it's sofa king butt, but it's the pun, it's the play on words. Sofa, so fucking butt.
Oh, like So Fucking Butt.
Yeah. Wow. I like to mansplain them. I feel like it helps. I don't know, whatever. This is a 5 for me. I think it's there are 3 good ones altogether. I'm sure that these guys, they had to be in a 3 stack. But yeah, this is 5 for me. I think they're cool. They're worth a little chuckle, but there's they don't have the depth that I like, and the kind of like a lot of thought that goes into them.
All right, we have 1 and 4 left here, Seth. Your next one, I think you might have submitted this one. We've got a little family affair here with Daddy Crankin' and Mammy Crankin'.
Yeah, I did submit this one. I'm gonna go 4 with this one. Like, it's wholesome. It's a family affair. And everybody knows that Mama and Daddy do what they do, and so why penalize them? 4 for me. Like, let them live.
Yeah. One of the classic 90s sitcom tropes is that the kid learning that mom and daddy be cranking simultaneously often, So
I don't remember those shows. But
you don't remember the people realizing that their parents were sexual creatures and had their desires and needs?
Not specifically cranking hogs.
Oh, not specifically, but it's called subtext, Seth, and as an English teacher, it disappoints me that you're unaware. Next one, final one, and your default number 1, I have autism. No, just I have autism. Ran out of letters, I guess.
Well, that one's fine. Can I choose from this same picture a different one?
Yeah, I actually didn't know which one they wanted us to go with. So go ahead.
So I have autism is it's something for sure.
Yeah.
There's also Thorskin Odinson.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, play on foreskin. That's fine too. But the one that I like the most, and I guess it's got to be my number 1 now, is bruh milk.
What you mean by that?
Just the milk of a bro. Whatever that is.
Yeah. He was also 6 and 3, so there's that too. Yeah. How do you feel about your list this week, Seth? You feel like you did well?
Pretty solid. I do wish I'd put breeding bull in first. Bruh milk, I feel like could be a strong second, but.
And what's that accent called in breeding bull?
It's an Inye. Well, the letter, it's like a specific letter in Spanish. It's called Inye. Yeah. So there's an N. I forget how you say it, but there's an N and there's and then there's Inye.
Gotcha. I took 4 years of French because I like the French teacher's daughter. So I was, Omelette du fromage. It didn't work.
Yeah. No, I can't fault you for that. It makes like a rolling sound, like a Inye. It kind of is whatever.
Gotcha. I was going to call it a tilde, so I didn't know. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our week in Rivals, Seth. Let's talk about playing the game first, but I do want us to spend some time talking about Marvel Rivals Ignite. But what'd you get up to in game this week?
I think most of what I got up to is what you got up to. We played. I feel like you mentioned your White Fox play, and I feel like your White Fox was cursed for, not that you played poorly, like you were like MVP of the matches or whatever, but just like every single game in which you played White Fox, we lost, whether it was comp, whether it was quick play, even like the 18v18s, the annihilations. Like every single one of we lost. The one game, or the 2 games, but as soon as you did it, as soon as you switched to Cloak and Dagger, we started winning. And so like it just boggles the mind. Overall, pretty solid week. I did some solo queue a little bit too. I ended up placing in Plat 3. Like originally it was projected Plat 2, so I was still pretty close. I like won some, lost some across the board. I think it was pretty neck and neck for the most part. Yeah, I haven't really played any into my rank so far. I'm like right there, smack in the middle of Plat 3. But it's a start. I am going to lose a lot of time this week, so we should probably grind.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the next day, whatever. We leave Sunday, just so you know.
Okay.
Easter.
I am definitely down to play a lot of ranked between now and then. So, let's go back to that White Fox conversation real quick, because first of all, I know that you just kind of said your White Fox might be cursed, out of observation, but I also felt rightfully called out by it, not by you specifically, but it just made me reflect on my usefulness as White Fox and how I did feel like I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with her, but we're not winning. And why is that? I've been trying to put my finger on it, Seth. So White Fox really benefits from the ability to counter dive. So when somebody jumps into your backline, you can switch to your melee form, you can push them around, and you can deal a significant amount of damage to them and protect the other people in your backline. However, in order to get the full value out of that, the rest of your team has to understand how to peel around it to get the benefit of the extra healing that you're putting out from your melee form. So I think that's one of the main things is just and that's a way of me passing responsibility off on other people for my performance, but
as we do.
But I do think that you have to be paying attention to where your White Fox is, whereas I think with a lot of other support characters, they just kind of are where you are, or with Cloak and Dagger, you can get healed from hella far away and it's totally fine. I also kind of started to master the shooting the ground underneath in order to get the benefit of the auto aim off bounce. The other problem that I tend to have though is I react to like my front line taking damage but they don't react to me reacting to them. So what'll happen is our tank will be up in a fight and I'll use my teleport ability to give them the shield. And while I'm ready to take that fight and keep moving forward, oftentimes the tank at that point will back off. So it's like a psychological thing, right? Like I'm thinking they're in a spot now where they need to be saved. And they're thinking, oh, I'm in a spot right now where I need to back off because I'm taking a lot of damage. And I think being a little earlier on White Fox would probably open up those opportunities for me better.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to think. I played some quick play this week, a lot of solo tanking, which has not been fun. But when I'm playing quick play, I often find myself having to solo tank or just playing in a team comp with a solo tank. Where I'm like one of our two strategists, and the game is just measurably less fun when you're playing like that. And so I've really gotten to where I only like playing when I'm stacking with you or Larry or both of you in quick play, just because it's always such a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it really is. You just never really know what you're going to get. And you don't in a 2-stack either, right? But it's at least a little, you've got somebody to commiserate with you.
Yeah. At least when I'm playing with you, I know there's somebody that's going to play a non-DPS role for the most part. Seth, did you get to watch much Marvel Rivals Ignite?
So I didn't get to watch a lot. Friday, I think did it start on Thursday or Friday?
Friday.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Friday, I went to that hockey match. I was like left right after school. I tried to kind of tune in a little bit through the game, but like I'm also trying to like understand what's happening on the ice. So I kind of backed off of that. When I got home, it was late, but I tuned in. I like fast forwarded through who played first. Was it I forget.
Oh, it was FlyQuest Cafe Rose on Friday was the first
Okay.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I fast forwarded through that. They lost that one, right?
Yeah.
FlyQuest.
Yeah. FlyQuest is
Yeah,
0-3.
and so watched Space Station. They won night one. The next day I tuned in, just kind of did the same thing. Went straight to Space Station. Watched them. They got their teeth kicked in on night two, but that was it's fine. Growing pains, right? I just kind of tuned in a little bit in and out through the weekend, just to kind of like check out some comps, like just kind of see who's playing what, who seems to be out there. I think you watched probably a little bit more of Europe than I did. Um, but I feel like I did see kind of a lot of the same things that you saw, like a lot of Hulk and Strange going on, just like across the board. Lots of Magneto, like who's always been there, right? Like I don't feel like, hopefully, knock on wood, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. My boy, I call him Daddy, like Emma's mommy, Mag is Daddy, just in case I haven't done that in chat with you. I'm starting it now.
Gotcha.
Um, Yeah. Overall, I mean, I thought it was a pretty cool viewing experience. I did not realize that Soe, I always forget how to
Yeah.
say her name.
Yeah. So
Is now over from the Overwatch League, or whatever, the Overwatch esports, and yeah, that was cool. Like, nice to kind of have like a different voice in there with us this season, and yeah, I think it was just kind of it was fun. I liked the little player interviews afterwards. I feel like it would just kind of ran a lot smoother than some previous phases like this have gone. That like when we're kind of like in the online only phase, everybody's playing from like their basement or their bedroom. There, I didn't notice or struggle with nearly as much of like the sitting through the same song over and over again. But I don't know. I probably didn't watch enough to really say that with a lot of confidence.
Friday had a lot of pauses,
Hmm.
both in Europe and in North America. I think that's kind of to be expected when you're still playing these games remotely. But I think it was fine. I do think the broadcast flow is a little bit better. It's like 5 minutes between maps and 10 minutes between matches or something like that. I have a bunch of things written down here, Seth, that I think could improve the broadcast that I want to go through here in a couple minutes. But um, yeah, I probably watched 2 matches live each day, and then I've gone back and watched a lot of the North American matches after the fact, just because when that 5 minute timer comes up, I just check out and go watch something
Yeah.
else. So I like being able to kind of fast forward through it. I've been thinking about this, and those of you listening, let me know if any of you would be interested in this. But I used to do this with Overwatch, where I would like watch games on stream and just kind of talk with chat while we watched Overwatch. Um, Marvel Rivals is a lot friendlier to co-streamers, so we could either watch it live or on like a Monday or something do a little stream where we watch some of the top games of the week or something like that. So let me know, motivate me to watch more, and it'd be a cool experience just to hang out in chat also. So, but I think I've decided, Seth, because the challenging thing about these sorts of esports, and the thing that I think made Overwatch League so good for so long for me, was like Overwatch League was so self-contained. You weren't having to keep up with like 4 different regions, right? It was just all Overwatch League. In contenders, you had to keep up with regions, but that to me was a little less stakes. When you're in this sort of situation where there's ultimately going to be 4 different regions playing, I think you just kind of have to pick a region and stick with it, especially for someone like me who there's other things I like to watch and keep up with. I watch every single Cleveland Guardians game, So, and I think I've just decided I'll check in on Europe from time to time, but I really want to try to keep up with what's happening in North America because I got teams in it that I enjoy watching. There's players in it that I enjoy watching. So,
And you can always branch out later to the other ones too, right?
yeah.
Like, there's nothing holding you back, but kind of get a grounding in one and, move on from there. I'm never going to be able to watch Asia just because I'm not, or, Oceania or whatever, because I'm just not awake during those hours. But, it's nice to know they're out there.
Mm-hmm. It is cool watching those regions just because they do tend to have very different play styles, and the comps tend to be pretty different as well. So I'll check in on them, but I think as far as keeping up with stuff, I think I'm just going to lock in on NA this year and have that be the thing that I want to watch. But yeah, I wanted to talk through some observations that I had. Did you get to? You just said you watched the space station games. They didn't play. Yeah, we lost. Did they? I don't think they
did. They play what?
The team. Yeah, we lost. YWL.
No.
Okay, so YWL's in
so.
their group.
No.
And you need to tune in and watch when they play, because they play some off meta shit that's really fun. They rolled out with like the Hulk Strange, but then had like Spider-Man in it, and they take some of the most interesting fights in some of the most interesting places where I'm like, how the fuck are you even there? Like, who goes there on these maps? So point B on Idrisil, they were on offense, and you know how coming out of spawn, you've got the two doors next to the door that ends up opening when you unlock point 3. So those are the doors most of the time everybody comes through. But I guess in pro play, since there's another exit out that gives you high ground, a lot of teams like to utilize that. They fought a 6v6 fight in that little room and didn't lose a single player in it, and just like completely wiped. And they just play so aggressive and with such a unique play style, and that's normally fun just to see something new. It's very rare that you see something new and they're kind of fucking on it too, which is what YWL's did. They were 2-0 this week, 4-1 on their map score. They're sitting in second place in the Group B, so I think they are must-watch TV.
That's awesome.
If you tune in.
No, we played well, I didn't watch the third game. I know we played Liquid Citadel. Night 2
they're going to be a nightmare.
We beat TSM and we lost to Liquid Citadel.
Yeah. I don't know who their third match was against. But yeah, the Jitward is their DPS player. Spider-Man player for the most part when I was watching, and it's always Spider-Man is just one of those. Watching somebody at a high level play it is really fun. I love going into their POV and watching them do shit I'll never be able to do. The Hulk and Strange stuff is weird to me, Seth, and I talked about this with some people in our Discord server. What do you think is like the benefit of those two? Because those two don't really seem to be a great tank pairing in my mind, but you're right, we saw it quite a bit over the weekend.
So I don't know. I mean, like, I think you're pretty well served, like, kind of like Overwatch was once upon a time, when you could run 6 stacks and that, like, you have like your shield tank and your off tank, and I feel like Hulk kind of serves that like off tank role where he can, like, he's kind of a dive tank. He can get in there, he can get out really quickly, he can bounce, like he can shield himself, do a little damage and then jump back, maybe get behind Strange's shield, that kind of thing. Maybe not the best pairing, but I mean it can work for sure. I mean, kind of like I think like Hulk can work a lot like the Thing in a lot of ways. They kind of have some of the same movability. Thing maybe a little bit more than Hulk, kind of in some ways, but yeah, I mean especially like if you're doing group fights and you can use that Hulk shield to maximum capacity, then you can really do some damage in a fight. So I need to watch some more of that play, but yeah, I wasn't expecting that really at all. I didn't really think of Hulk as being that meta right now.
And I know he continues to get like infinite buffs every single patch to try to get him back into a place with the meta, and he definitely wasn't as prominent as Angela, Vanpool, Mag. Definitely not as prominent as those, but I saw him a lot more than I anticipated. And at first I was like, why don't they just play Mag with him? Like, Mag feels like he's got so much more utility to like bubble him, and kind of get your dive DPS out of trouble and that sort of thing. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, Mag doesn't really make sense because Hulk can shield so many people within his AoE now when he does his little shield.
I mean, I can see it either way because like that's just another shield that you can kind of add into the mix. Plus, Mag's other shield. Who were the DPS they were running? Do you remember that? And like any
A
particular
lot of
scenario?
poke. Still poke. Maybe like Daredevil Elsa was it sometimes,
Okay.
or like
I was
Psylocke
just wondering,
Elsa.
like,
Yeah,
if it was maybe like a magic witch or something like that.
yeah, no, nothing like that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, but apparently it was working.
yeah.
I know you care a lot. Space Station played Nightmare. That was the other team.
Oh, okay.
And I believe they won. I think they're
Yeah. Nightmare has been like kind of surprisingly bad. But
Mhm.
they were 0-2 this weekend, but they have some guys who they should be better. But I do think that we saw some of the the qualified teams, like Cafe Rose, like we lost, perform a little bit better, maybe from having the sort of like competition reps at MRC. Versus some of these other guys that have just been playing in scrims, and I think it's a little it's like any sport, right? It's hard to get the intensity of in game at any kind of a practice, and so I think that showed a little bit. But Swamp Gaming, Liquid Citadel, top dogs in their specific groups, and I think we're kind of expected to be top dogs. But 100 Thieves sitting down there at 1-1, which is kind of not where 100 Thieves was expected to be. I think they lost to NRG. And then FlyQuest, my boys down there at 0-3, were just absolutely dog shit all weekend. But yeah, Seth, let's see. Just some observations on the meta. A lot of dive, but dive is so unique in Rivals compared to like Overwatch, because a lot of times you're running one dive tank with one sort of main tank, like a Strange or a Mag, or even like an Emma or something like that. So lots of Venom and Mag out there. We saw some Hulk, we saw some Angela as well. Whereas in Overwatch, like it was like Winston Diva, two very highly mobile tanks that can get in and out.
Mhm.
A surprising amount of Rogue in Europe. I don't know how much Rogue was played in NA. I don't think I saw very much at all.
I think I saw a little bit, more than I expected to.
Yeah. And Elsa and Daredevil obviously still just server admins in this meta. I don't know what you got to do to Daredevil to get him to not be meta at this point. Elsa can probably just use some tweaks to her damage and her shielding and be fine. But it feels like they've tried a lot of shit with Daredevil and haven't really found the secret sauce to getting him in a place where he's not just 100% present in these games. But here he is. Seth, I've got some improvements to the stream I wanted to run by you, get your thoughts on. Number one, they really need to do like a bespoke overlay for these MRI matches. This is something that League does really well, where their kind of spectator system delves out like raw data that you can plug in to pre-programmed overlays, and they do a really great job of just making the actual in-game experience look branded to whatever you're watching, whether it's LCS or LEC. And so, but MRI, you just get like, it just looks like like you're in the spectator in the game. And I think that they could elevate the look a little bit.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about that before too, a little bit, right? Like maybe zooming out, like kind of showing. Like I always feel like I benefit from like not just looking through one character's perspective, but like kind of like Overwatch eventually started to do better with this, and I think COD has kind of done better with this too. Although I think it could still be better, but just kind of like zooming out, showing like the bird's eye view of kind of what's going on, maybe kind of rotating around from different angles. Sports, like traditional live sports do this too, right? Like where you like kind of like the camera switching around sometimes, especially if something big happens. You kind of go back and get the quick replay from a different angle. That's the kind of stuff that I feel like it would be cool to do, even if it's like seeing, I don't know. I don't know how you do that in such a fast-paced game like this, but I do think that's kind of one of the major detractors of esports, is that it kind of makes things a little harder to follow.
Yeah, and it's really hard in Rivals because it's blue team, red team, and you can be blue team in one match on one map and then the red team on the next map. And so from like a viewer perspective, it's really hard to keep up with who's who without having to constantly just reference the scoreboard to see whose perspective you're watching from. And I think COD and Overwatch both do this. Overwatch League did it. I think COD League still does. They still play in like their team skins, right? In COD League.
Yes. Yeah.
So and then the glow around them is their team color as well. And that doesn't change match to match, right? It's like if you're watching Minnesota Rocker, they're going to be the purple team. If you're watching Optic, they're going to be the green team, and they're always going to have those outlines. And Overwatch League did that really well because each team not only had specific skins for their team, but they had home and away skins. So each game they were designated either home or away. So it was really easy visually to like keep up with who's who. I really want Rivals to adopt something like that for MRI, where the teams have static colors throughout the match so that you can keep up. The other one, Seth, I really hate the 10-minute breaks between maps. I hate the 5-minute breaks between matches. Rivals Ignite is in a unique position in the sense that there are no external sponsors on it. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's no brought to you by Razer, Omen by HP or whatever. And I think because of that, they have some unique opportunities to maybe change their approach to broadcasting. And I think if you were to look at the live viewership numbers versus the VOD viewership numbers, there's probably a lot more VOD viewers than there are live viewers because of.
Yeah, I specifically looked at those numbers, and I don't have like hard data for you written down, but like I was noticing as I was watching, I'm like, there are like 2,000 people watching this. It was like abysmally low. But then going back and looking at like the views, like the next day, there were like 42,000 plus or something like that. And that's just like, a few hours later, maybe 12 hours, like not, a week or whatever. So, I'd be interested to kind of check in on those numbers like today and see maybe how much some of them have grown, especially for some of like the later nights. And this is just the preseason too. So, take all of that with a grain of salt, but, people, still don't know that this thing exists most likely. But it was, kind of interesting to think of like that. I do kind of think that like, I don't know, like the more traditional sports that I watch, I'm like, how do they fill in those gaps between times? And it's a different beast, especially when you're in these kind of like remote play sessions where people are playing like from home. But like I do feel like there's got to be some way, whether it's through like additional commentary, whether it's through like coach interviews, like in the meantime or something like that. Like maybe the coach or like some representative from a team comes out and talks a little bit about what's going on. Maybe you've got some pre-recorded like fan segments or something like that you could put out there. Maybe hard to do really early on in the league's lifespan like this, but something other than just looking at a screen and listening to Luna Snow, or Chrissy Costanza, whoever, like the lady that sings the songs, and or just like watching trailers for skins that we've already seen over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'd love them to do more like replay breakdowns and stuff like that too from different moments. The LAC, LCS, the league esports do this really well, where they have true analysts who are like in between the games to do like basically mini halftime shows where they're breaking down what decisions people have made, talking about drafts. They've got visuals and graphics for it. They've got like the team graphics and the schedule graphics, but outside of that, there's not a lot of multimedia that's going on between. So I'd love to see that. The thing I'd really love to see is a B stream where it's like, hey, we'll have we'll have 2 matches going at a time, and we're going to stagger their start times by 15 minutes so that we can go and check in on the other B stream. And then that 5th match of the day is like the match of the day. And that's just got its own kind of solo broadcast. I think something like that would be cool, but something to keep you in the Marvel Rivals Ignite ecosystem without, like you said, just watching the same 5-minute countdown with the same song every time.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And then the last thing, Seth, auto-organize the scoreboard by role, please. Like, it's so hard. Like, when I'm trying to figure out what comps people are running into it, it's like, are they running this Adam in a double sport or triple sport? Because they're not organized.
You have to skim around through like the 6 stack, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, who's who, where are they? Yeah, that would be very helpful.
Just do Vanguard, DPS, and strategist. And I know that teams switch what they're doing mid-match, but I don't think it would be that hard to keep up with. So those are some of my suggestions on how to make the Marvel Rivals Ignite broadcast clearer. All right, Seth, let's jump into our next segment. It's Guangguang's Gooner Gallery. We've got 2 new skins coming to the shop this week, both ESU skins. We've got the Invisible Woman Riann Landau skin and the Mr. Fantastic Danum Ket skin. That doesn't even sound like a real name. Do you know any Danum Kets?
Yeah, that reminds me of some of those Star Wars names, like, you know, Dumb Shito or something like that.
Jizz music.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with these. I do kind of like them. I don't know that I'll be buying them, but you know, they're cool. Nothing really to get like excited over. On the Gooner scale, I think these are both going to kind of score low. But I mean, that Invis, she's a professional lady. She you know, she's got some things going on. He's kind of a handsome hip professor with his beats on hanging around his neck.
Yeah, why does he keep getting skins where he's got headphones around his neck?
I don't know,
because he's got he has at least one more where he's got them. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really think of Mr. Fantastic walking around with his Beats by Dre on full blast around his neck.
Is it the dad skin?
Yeah, the dad skin.
Where he has those. Okay, I guess where he's like, you know, walking babies around the park. He's like listening to his jams or whatever Richards listens to. Yeah, it's got to be it, right?
Yeah,
listening
like 5 audiobooks all at one time.
Yeah, backwards.
Yeah. Hail Satan.
If you know, you know. Evil lives. Hail Satan. Clear as day.
No, I like both these skins. I think they're pretty cool. Probably not instant purchases for me, but you know, I like to have all the Invis skins at least, so I'll probably end up getting that one eventually. I don't really understand the ESU thing, you know, like these university skins. DC Brenton in our Discord was explaining how, you know, like the football skin for Cap last week was one of those, and we were trying to figure out who that character he was named was, and apparently they're just making up aliases for these guys as they attend college.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, I guess. I don't know why, if they have secret identities, why you would need to rename them anyway, but that's fine. True. I did realize, I think we had questions about what Cap's shield looks like in that skin. It is like a football shape. Mm-hmm. So we've seen that now. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, I understand what they're going for. Like, you know, Empire State University or whatever is, it's like a part of the comic canon. I think that's like where Spider-Man famously goes. If I'm not mistaken, there, you know, there's some parts of like the Spider-Man games that deal with that too. But yeah, I don't really, it's fine. It's just like not really the thing that I want right now. That's totally a personal preference from me.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to the news. We got a couple stories here, Seth. The first, the Lower Manhattan map trailer dropped. This map coming later this week. It's going to be a Convergence map, and probably more kind of standard New York than like the Central Park map. But what do you think of this, Seth?
Oh, I think it looks really cool. I think it fits the theme of the season, like kind of the lore of the season pretty well. Like the map seems to tell a story, right? Like you've got the Fisk decorations around. Really kind of matches up. I don't know if you probably haven't watched Daredevil season 2 or Born Daredevil. What is it? Born Again?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, Born Again.
Is that what it's called?
Yep. I haven't watched it, but
Okay,
that is what it's called.
gotcha.
I see it
All the
every time I
names are
log on to watch Boy Meets World.
that makes sense. I always like I'm forever gonna think Adam Warlock now. So I was like, that can't be right. Is it Born Again? Born Again. But it's yeah, I really like it, and like the fact that like you kind of can see like what Fisk has been doing to the city and like the quarantines and stuff like that. Kind of matches along with what's been going on in that show a little bit as well. Um, I think it's great. That's kind of what I want. Like all their maps, I feel like do some kind of work like that where they're kind of telling a story. But like I couldn't tell you what's going on Yggdrasil Path. I couldn't really tell you what's going on. Like maybe kind of sort of with the null maps, like you're guiding his essence, the big black sperm cell, or you doing something with a sword on another map or whatever. But like not in the way that this is like it's pretty clear cut. Like you're kind of getting this tour of New York and what it looks like. I think the New York maps seem like they do it best. I don't know if it's just because they're more
Yeah.
familiar. Maybe there's like a little bit more like when they're grounded in realism, like kind of like you can I don't know. I guess like you kind of know what they're supposed to look like, and then you can see the contrast, like with Dracula's castle or whatever. But yeah, I think this looks great to me. I was stoked for Museum of Contemplation, but kind of disappointed in the end. And I think this is kind of more like what I want to see. This kind of fits my vision of like what we wanted with an X-Men map before, kind of like getting the story of like, something and kind of taking a tour of the X Mansion and seeing stuff hit the fan as you kind of go through. This is more like it for me.
Yeah, there were a couple things in here that I really liked. I love the charging bull being charging Jeff on the
Yeah,
map.
yeah, yeah.
That's really cool. I do love the diversity of the three kind of points it looks like you're going to be going through. It looks like it ends at a prison. Also, do you know what this giant ass hand that Fisk is worshiping near the end of this trailer is?
So I need to go back and look at it. But I'm imagining that it's there's something in the lore with like a relic or whatever. Maybe it has something to do with the hand, like the organization,
Mm.
the hand, with all the ninjas that do ninja stuff or whatever. Um, yeah, I'll be keep talking to me, Daddy, and I'll go back and watch this trailer, see if I can pick out anything.
Yeah, it's set the like 55-second mark, but or a little later. We also at around the 25-second mark have the No Kingpin poster modeled like the No Kings posters,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was a really cool nod based netties, I guess. So I like that. And then at the very end, the hood teased there. Did you see that, Seth?
No, I did not notice. Let me pull up the damn trailer again. The hand, I don't know, like the big skeletal hand. I did see it now going back. I don't really know. I mean, it could play into something like that. But yeah, I think there's kind of like a bigger story where he's like trying to acquire. Like, isn't that the thing? Black Cat goes and tries to acquire some kind of relic that's linked up to
Mm.
some elder god or whatever. Yeah, something in that ballpark.
Yeah, the hood tease comes right after the end slate. So you have the Marvel Rivals logo animation, and then you see the hood's hood floating in a display case. Sorry.
No, I'm just going back and
Um,
looking.
the hood has been leaked in past leaks, um,
Ah.
so it would make sense. But this feels, like the little uh, like Blade Easter egg we got when the Central Park map dropped, and so who knows? Maybe next season is Cyclops in the hood. It'd be pretty sick.
Could be. I think I've heard what's. I think I had kids the other day talking about like Cyclops and Devil Dinosaur, maybe,
Oh
or
yeah, I
I don't
did
know
see Devil
now.
Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur actually
Yeah.
has like a champ reference ID in the game now. I saw that in the
Mm,
Marvel Rival League subreddit last week, I think.
okay.
So
See, I mean, I think it could go either way. I think any of those would be super cool. The Hood's like pretty cool character too. Like I can imagine he's got like some of the strange-esque magic stuff going on. He shoots pistols, or so he could probably do something with those, like kind of a combination of those two play styles. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun if the Hood came in soon.
We also got our roadmap, and I didn't realize how much of this roadmap we've already gotten. I think this released last week, but this week, obviously, we've got the Lower Manhattan and the Invis and Mr. Fantastic skins. Then we've got the new costume, Deadpool and Jeff, black. What is that? Black, white, and groom. So that's really cool. Both of them in their marriage garb, and then a new Iron Fist skin, the ESU Showdown skin for him, and that'll be the final update before season 7.5 on April 17th. Any of that speaking to you, Seth?
Yeah, I mean I think those skins are pretty cool. I forgot to mention, I saw a lot more Deadpool. Now I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
a lot of tank pool in MRI. I feel like we should definitely speak to that way more than I expected to see. And people are doing great things with him. So hell yeah for that. No, I think other than like I'm excited for the map. I think these skins are cool. I don't know if they're really like things that I'm going to want myself, but they're cool. They fit with like the emote coming out here, right? With like the riding Jeff around or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, this is cool. I do think it seems like it's coming a little bit late. Like I think I saw this and I was like, old news.
Yeah,
brothers.
Yeah, we're already halfway through this image, guys. Then our final story on the list, NetEase will begin banning players using mouse macros. This is from fervor.com. And then it just says NetEase is increasing its ban aggression for Marvel Rivals players that are using hardware to gain an advantage over other players. Quote, some players are using mouse macros during matches, executing abnormal combo sequences, or achieving actions beyond normal human hand speed. Gives these users an unfair extra advantage. So, not exactly sure like how they'll be able to detect mouse macros and like hardware mods, but I guess if they're kind of measuring what you're doing in game against what is humanly possible, that would be one good way.
Yeah, I would think that like that's something that maybe an AI could go like pop in and review and pass it along for further inspection or something like that. But I do imagine it's tricky to pin it down to some degree.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't know. And why? What joy do you get out of cheating in a game like this? Like, I don't ever understand it. Like being toxic, I can get. Sometimes it gets under your skin a little bit. You might say something in chat you regret, but like going out of your way to be like, I'm gonna use mouse macros and install auto aim and do magic bullet shit. Like, what joy do you get out of winning games when it's just completely unfair to your opponents? Like,
and it's like it's inauthentic, right? Like, yeah, you're winning, but like not because you deserve to win. You're just winning because, and I mean, that's just cheating in general, right? So like that's a tale as old as time. But yeah, for sure. Like this is just like, I feel like it's a little bit different because it's not like you're rigging the game necessarily in some way. You're just like downloading something that makes you better than you are. I don't know. Like you're just kind of like it's not even
tricky.
Pathetic.
Yeah,
it's like even a little bit more pathetic. Like you're not going out of your way. Like you're not sneaking drugs into your system or something like that to get an advantage, or you're not like, I don't know, just kind of doing something shady. You're just, hey, I'm gonna click a couple buttons and become a superhero and just fuck everybody up forever until I get caught. So yeah, I cheating is bad, but I think this kind of cheating is just like it's lazy, if nothing else.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for us this week. I kind of put our topic as the esports thing, Seth. You mentioned the Vanpool stuff. it's made me really want to pick up Vanpool because I'm starting to realize and understand what the value is. Number one, he's the only tank who can do the shit he can do, like the long distance shooting, hit scan. If you can land headshots, he's sick. But Banhammer is an insanely overpowered ult. And that's the reason that if you can stay alive is Vanpool, which when you're pro, you can. But being able to just like stack your Banhammer really quick and then throw that on somebody in the back line, automatic fight win with not much investment, I see the appeal. He's either in every match or banned in every match that I see. So, All right, Seth, we're gonna get up to playing some ranked this week because you're gonna be out of town, and I wanna grind some. But any other goals for you this week? You getting close to any lords?
Not close.
You got your Emma Lord. I don't know if we said that on the podcast.
Yeah, I think it's been a week or two since I got Emma. I'm not really close. I'm like around the same place with several people. Like I think my Squirrel Girl is like level 14. My Strange is like 16. Hulk's like creeping up on 15. So I'm kind of like in the ballpark with those three right now. I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm chasing any lords. Like I'm just kind of playing comp as needed. Kind of seeing who fits the bill moment to moment. And then like between comp games, I'll just kind of jump in and just mess around with one of those characters in Annihilation, just to kind of like have some fun, blow off some steam or whatever. So not necessarily like grinding, but I guess like, I am kind of playing as those characters just to kind of get a little bit of extra progress, but it's also practice too. Like I'm kind of like just trying to play around with those kits a little bit. I have been playing a little bit more Angela, even in comp a couple of matches. I think I took her out this week, and that was some fun. So I might be taking Big Lady for a spin a little bit more.
I'm down. She's in a great spot in the meta too. I mean, she's hard to deal with. So, yeah, I think I'm creeping up on the Rogue Lord. I think I'm probably 15 or 16 with her. Other than that, probably White Fox is the only other one I've been playing enough to really like make Lord progress on. So, because everybody else I play, I just have Lord with already. I have been trying to play a little bit more Groot as well. I did end up buying that Mecha Flora skin when it dropped last season, and it's done what I hoped it would do, which is motivate me to get out there and play a little bit more Groot. So
I bought it too. I have not, but I'll get around to him one day. Like I do think it's great to be able to have a Groot in your pocket. It's great to have like anybody in your pocket. So yeah, the more the merrier.
Groot and Strange, those are the two I need to shore up if I want to call
my Strange has gotten better.
Your Strange has been good.
I've been copying, kind of like learning some combos or just like different combinations you can do, like moment to moment, like just to kind of maximize that, like the damage input, so that you can build up your.
Oh, you learning how to like melee weave?
Trying to, yeah. It's in the thick of it. I'm not very good at it, but it's been better at least. So like I'm kind of being more conscious of trying to build that up and maximize kills with that. So I popped off in several comp games this week. Granted, they're like platinum, mid plat, but whatever.
I'm normally pretty terrible with characters that like kind of demand you min max like that, because Strange is one of those, if you want to be really good, you have to know how to melee weave with him. But I do remember back in the Overwatch days playing Winston and learning how to short hop and learning how to melee on landing to maximize his damage. And it was one of those things that's like, it really only takes a little bit of time in the practice range and like a tutorial video to unlock a whole new level of gameplay out of a character. And so yeah, I think that's cool. All right, man. Well, that's going to do it for us this week, guys. We appreciate you tuning in, following, listening, all those places. We did get a new 5-star review over on Spotify this week. We're up to 12 over there, so appreciate whoever left that. Yeah. Make sure you're leaving your comments, joining our Discord, all that stuff. Until next week, guys, good luck in your games. Good luck on the climb. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.